Hi, friends. There is a very interesting concept one of the popular influencers, J Krishna Murthy, discusses in his book, Freedom from the Known. Of course, he talks about a lot of interesting and life changing points, but one thing that deeply resonated with me is the idea of freeing ourselves from popular narratives and popular ideologies. I think this is very important because we are always under influence of certain narratives and certain ideologies that are constructed in society to be true, to be real. For example, modernism is progressive, it is always good, it always brings happiness, joy, pleasure, satisfaction to our lives, and it makes us more cultured as human beings, which means the more we go back into history, the more barbaric we were. The question is it true? I think we need to do a little retrospection on this point. Similarly, buying power makes us secure. So, the more buying power you have, the more financially rich you are, the more secure you are in society. And possessions brings elevates status in society. So the more possessions, the luxurious possessions you have, the higher status you have in society. And this is interesting one. Educated people are wise people. So the more education a person has, the wiser he is. This is deeply ingrained in our minds right from we were kids in our schools. The question is it true though? And we have this tendency to follow people with degrees, big degrees, like doctorates, scientists. We have this tendency to follow them blindly without applying our mind. This further goes into all the constructed ideas. For example, religion, culture, tradition, nationality, consumerism, capitalism, feminism, liberalism, atheism, all these ideologies that are constructed in society, they have deep influence on our minds. They drive our thought process, our behavior, our whole life, in short. The problem is we don't even know we are under influence. It's like you are intoxicated with drugs or alcohol and you don't even know you are intoxicated. You might be acting stupid. You don't know you are acting stupid. You think you are the wisest person in the room because that became your reality. So when you are under influence, that ideology, that narrative becomes your reality, and you think that is the only way to achieve happiness, success, and joy, fulfillment in life. Let me give you an example. Take an example of a guy who believes in this idea of buying power equals security. So the more buying power you have, the more secure you are in society. Think about how his life would be. What would be his priorities? What kind of house he would have? What kind of car he would have? So he's a consumerist, in short. Imagine how his whole lifestyle would be. And take an example of a very person with a completely contrasting ideology, minimalism, who thinks that anything beyond necessity is rubbish and we must strive for spiritual richness instead of financial richness. And imagine how his life would be. What would be his priorities? What kind of house he would have? What kind of furniture he would have in house? What kind of car he would have? Here, these two people are driven by two different ideologies. That is my point. The question is, are they being authentic or are they under influence? It doesn't matter what is right, what is wrong. The question is, are they in influence or are they being authentic? This can happen to anyone, including you, me, anyone, any human being. And one person can be under influence of multiple ideologies and multiple narratives. One person can be under influence of a religion, culture, tradition, nationality, consumerism at the same time. So imagine how his lifestyle would be, right? And he don't even know that he is under influence. That's the problem. There's an interesting sloka in Bhagavad Gita in second chapter, 52nd verse, which says, when your mind crosses mired illusion, That is the delusion part. When you are under influence, it becomes your reality. For a minimalist, that became his reality. For a consumerist, that became his reality. He thinks that is the only way to achieve happiness, joy, and success in his life. So that is the delusion. When you cross the delusion, you will become indifferent to what has been heard and what has to be heard. So you will become indifferent to all these socially constructed ideas, popular narratives, and you will turn to your true authentic self, your inner authority. We'll discuss this in upcoming videos, but for now, the question is, are you being authentic or are you under influence? If yes, which ideology has a deep influence on your mind and on your life? Are you intoxicated and you don't even know you are intoxicated? I would really advise you to do some self retrospection. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.